firepower from Liverpool meant it was 7 goals last week against their biggest rivals, Manchester United. Man United did respond in the Europa League on Thursday night, beating Real Betis by 4-1 in the first leg of their Europa League tie. But this weekend, it's back to Premier League action as they welcome the side bottom of the table in Southampton to Old Trafford. Let's hear from Ruben Sellers, but first, Erik ten Hag.
I think 2 weeks ago, Southampton beat Chelsea away. So we have to play an outstanding performance on Sunday to beat Southampton, and at the bottom it's very close. So they will be front foot, they will be aggressive, they will everything do to collect points here. So we have to be 100% and give the best performance to beat them.
We know, and we know they can have a stronger start, and we know Old Trafford will be pushing them forward. We will try to have a plan for every minute of the game, and we are working in our principles and how we want to attack the game. And I'm worried about the first minute, I'm worried about the last minute, so I need to be prepared for any situation.
Apologies, correction there. Southampton's second bottom. I clearly didn't refresh my page, guys. There we go.
Or maybe you were talking as if it was 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe. Predicting the future. Not the first one done that. Right, let's talk about Manchester United first of all, because as I mentioned just then, we've seen them respond to the 7-0 defeat in the Europa League against Real Betis last night, winning by 4-1. It was a much better performance from Manchester United, but again, do we need to see them back that up against Southampton to really put that game to bed from last week?
Yeah, we need to see that. What I found quite telling was that Ten Hag kept the same team, the same 11, and started them again, midweek. So,
what do you think he was trying to do by doing that?
Prove a point. He's definitely proven a point. Look, it was a blip. The 7-0 was a blip. You look at how many opportunities, how many chances, shots on goal Liverpool had, and how many they actually scored. Normally you score 1 in 3, give or take, maybe 1 in 4. Liverpool scored almost every single shot, which is a little bit of an anomaly, So Ten Hag came out in one of his press conferences and said, look, it's a blip. It's a bit of a blip. I'm not looking too deeply into it. These things happen. I'm not happy with it, but these things happen. I would expect to see very much the same team starting again, just because he trusts them. Yeah. There are a couple of players in there floating around that I'm not 100% certain on. Still need a bit of convincing. Like Anthony.
Name.
Yeah, Anthony. I think he's got all the flair, but his end result in the final third is not always where you expect it to be, what you want it to be for somebody that costs as much as he has. He doesn't go past players enough for me. He always cuts back in on his left foot. So as a defender, you would look at that and say, right, what am I going to do with this guy? He's got a little bit of pace. He's got trickery. Right, I'm going to show him down the line on his right foot because he's not going to do much. He's going to go down the line. He's going to cut back and give it to Dalot or give it to Wan-Bissaka or someone. Mm. He's relatively straightforward to play against. Mm. I would want him to improve that, be a little bit more gutsy, take the player on, go one-on-one with the player, get past him, and then show us what you're all about.
Will they have seen the result last night, that win, as an opportunity to put last weekend's to the side now and actually just now reset, pick up where they left off before the game at Anfield, Darren? And, before that, they had such an intense set of fixtures. Mm. Last night was their 43rd game of the season, so this will be their 44th match. And as Jermaine has pointed out, he doesn't make many changes to his side. So the team are probably... We're looking a little bit tired at Anfield. Is this a chance for them to just reset and start again for the season?
See, I want to say yes, but then you look at that graphic there, bottom left, and that's one... It's hard to say it's a blip because, they have lost 6 this season. They have lost by 4 this season. So they do have that in them, but...
It's quite a long time ago, that,
it was.
Well, absolutely. And this is the reason why I think it might just be a freak result. But also... That stops me from saying that they will see it as an opportunity. I want to defer to you. You've played, so and when you talk about the mentality, the player mentality, I want to listen to what you're saying. My head is saying to me that it was great management to play the side again against Betis, because he's effectively saying you got yourself into this situation, now you get yourselves out. I think there will be changes in the summer. I don't think Fernandes will be the captain at the start of next season. But I think he's doing it in a very sensible way, letting the season play out and then making that decision. But I do think that there will be a strong finish to this campaign for United, because the feel-good factor, in a way, the Europa League tie against Betis came at exactly the right time. The feel-good factor's back. Yep. You go into this weekend's game with the fans behind you. Rashford scored, Antony scored, Bruno in particular scored, and Wout Weghorst. Honestly, I've never been more pleased for any footballer scoring a goal than Wout Weghorst, because he's been derided by so many people, but Ten Hag trusts him. And he delivered on that trust on Thursday.
I don't think I've ever seen a player celebrate a 4-1 goal, a goal to make it 4-1 the way he did, but it was brilliant. Right, let's take a break now.
Welcome, Manchester United News Channel, the home of Red Devils fans. Manchester United forward Antony has admitted it was difficult to sleep after his side were humiliated by Liverpool. The former Ajax man started at Anfield last Sunday as United slumped to their joint heaviest defeat in their history before beating Real Betis 4-1 in the Europa League on Thursday night. The win came after a week in which media and pundits had heavily criticizing Erik ten Hag's side for the way they fell apart in the second half of the match against Liverpool as they went on to concede 6 goals. The United attacker spoke after scoring in the win over Betis at Old Trafford. Anthony said, "We came from an extremely hurtful defeat and it was hard to sleep that day. But in football, you can't cry about the past. We know that result is never acceptable. Subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any news."